As I was watching Star Wars The Last Jedi and it was going into its third act, I caught myself thinking, wow, what an epic adventure this film is. There are a lot of action movies out there and a lot of sci-fi films that talk about the fate of the world or the universe, but it's been a long time since I've been at the movies where it really felt like a great epic adventure. You can appreciate the scale of everything that's taking place. When the stakes are high, you can really feel the intensity and how epic this film is. And I think epic is the proper word to describe the vast majority of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm not going to give any spoilers away as I want you to be able to experience it as purely as you possibly can. But I know that you won't be disappointed with what you see. This film is going to have a lot different tone than The Force Awakens in how The Force Awakens was compared a lot to A New Hope. The comparisons with The Last Jedi to The Empire Strikes Back, for the most part, are warranted. It doesn't steal every beat like the Force Awakens did with A New Hope, but there are elements of Empire Strikes Back and the way that story shapes out. I think what makes Last Jedi and Empire similar is there are moments in which you can't really see where it's going, and it's not like M. Night Shyamalan sized twists, but there's enough that can keep you guessing as the film progresses. Some twists are predictable, some are not, and it does have a nice balance to that. Finn, Rey, and Poe are great in their return. The new characters, they're fine. As far as if The Last Jedi is a good film for kids, I think for the most part, yes. Two things there are in the end of the second act and into the third, there are some very intense scenes, more intense than anything that took place in The Force Awakens. And if The Force Awakens was the way that you introduced your kids to Star Wars, this one does take it up a notch in the intensity. Again, I don't want to give anything away, but going into this second act, there is a fight scene that takes place that is probably one of the more violent fight scenes in all the Star Wars films. So take that into consideration. The film also at times, I enjoyed it while I was watching it, but there are times where you can feel it is a longer film than your typical family movie. It is a very strong addition to the Star Wars legacy. It will be interesting to see how this story concludes. They do say that there's going to be even more Star Wars films after Episode 9 is finished. I'm less interested to see what takes place after that, but I'm very interested to see on how this trilogy, the third trilogy, concludes. This is a great film by itself, but I think that if you are a Star Wars fan, you will not be disappointed. If you are an adventure fan, you will enjoy it. For families, be ready for your child, if they're younger, to jump into your lap and be frightened at times because of the intense scenes that take place. But overall, I think it will be a good experience for them as well. It does help, however, if your kids are Star Wars fans going into this movie, for them to fully appreciate it.